Hello everyone, I am Manas Srivastava and you are watching UPSC Essentials of the Indian Express. And it's time for the issue at a glance. Today in Issue at a Glance, we are going to discuss the Global Trends Report 2021. We shall go beyond the report and know about the organization which releases this report. Also, we are going to see where India stands. But first of all, we must know why was it in news. Dear aspirants, you must have seen in the headlines of the Indian Express. Nearly 5 million people in India internally displaced due to climate change and disaster in 2021. This is according to one UN report. This UN report, you must know, is the 2022 Annual Global Trends Report, which is published by United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, which is also known as UNHCR. June 20 is designated as World Refugee Day by the United Nations. What is important, dear aspirants, is to note the theme of the World Refugee Day this year. It was whoever, whatever, whenever, everyone has got a right to seek safety. So first, let's know the relevance of this report for our UPSC. So in prelims, this report can be asked in form of questions, direct or indirect. At mains, questions can be framed in international relations, that is GS paper 2, where again, directly or indirectly, you can use this report as the fodder for your answer. But before going ahead, let's understand who is a refugee. So according to United Nations 1951 Refugee Convention, a refugee is someone who fled his or her home and country owing to a well-founded fear of persecution because of his or her race, religion, nationality, membership in a particular social group or political opinion. Briefly, now let's know that what is Global Trends Report. Dear aspirants, according to UNHCR website, Global Trend Report presents key statistical trends and the latest number of refugees, asylum seekers, internally displaced and stateless persons worldwide, as well as number of people who have returned to their countries or areas of origin. This report is published once a year and reflects on the previous year. So that's why we are talking about 2021. The figures are based on data reported by governments, non-governmental organizations and UNHCR. Now let's talk about that what are the major findings of this report. The first very essential point here is that on earth, 1 in every 78 people is now displaced. Secondly, there were 23.7 million new internal displacements worldwide due to disasters. However, it is a decrease of 23% as compared to last year. Thirdly, the largest displacement occurred was in China in 2021, which is around 6 million. After which it is the Philippines where it is 5.7 million and then is India where it is 4.9 million. Aspirants, you must know that 5.9 million people across the world remain displaced at the end of 2021 due to disasters. Nevertheless, the majority of internally displaced people return to their home areas. Also, the number of people who were forced to flee their homes has increased in the past decade. It stands at highest level since records started. Please note, by the end of May 2022, more than 100 million people were forcibly displaced worldwide. Now, this is a fact which you can keep in mind. The reasons for such violence cited are violence, war in Ukraine, food insecurity, human rights abuse, climate crisis, and other emergencies from Africa and Afghanistan. There is another fact you should know, and that is that by 2021 end, the number of people displaced by war, persecution, violence, and human rights abuses was 89.3 million. Now, this has increased by 8% and has doubled as compared to figure 10 years ago. There's another slight information, that is that the UNHCR report notes that the impact of climate change on displacement is not uniform. Importantly, the Russian invasion of Ukraine has caused the fastest and largest forced displacement crisis after World War II from Africa to Afghanistan and beyond. What about India? In India's case, the report points out that around 5 million people were internally displaced. The reason cited is due to disaster and climate change in 2021. Another point to remember is that the low and middle income countries hosted 83% of world's refugees. A point for prelims that you should remember is that Turkey hosted nearly 3.8 million refugees, which is the largest population worldwide. Also, the number of new individual asylum applications registered globally in 2021 increased by 25%. Dear aspirants, the US was the most popular choice among refugees to seek asylum, followed by Germany, Mexico, Costa Rica, and France. Now let's go beyond the issue and the report and know about the organization which releases this report. We are talking about United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, or the UNHCR. So what is UNHCR? According to the website of UNHCR, UNHCR is a UN agency which is a global organization dedicated to saving lives, protecting rights, and building a better future for refugees, forcibly displaced communities, and stateless people. Dear aspirants, this body assists them in their voluntary repatriation, resettlement, or local integration. The headquarters of this UNHCR is in Geneva, Switzerland. Now let us know about the important convention related to this organization. The convention I am talking about is the 1951 Refugee Convention. What is this convention? The 1951 Refugee Convention and its 1967 Protocol are the key legal documents that form the basis of UNHCR. Aspirants should know that the 1951 Convention finds its root in the Article 1 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights 1948. It states that everyone has the right to seek and to enjoy asylum from persecution in other countries. Let's now know what is Nansen Refugee Award. Established in 1954, the UNHCR Nansen Refugee Award honors individuals, groups, and organizations who go above and beyond the call of duty to protect refugees as well as displaced and stateless people. You should know that the UNHCR Nansen Refugee Award for 2021 was awarded to Jill Albena Association for Humanitarian Development, also known as JAAHD, which is a humanitarian organization providing emergency services to internally displaced people in northern Yemen. This fact becomes important for your prelims. A brief information now about India and the refugees. So India is not a signatory to the 1951 Refugee Convention or its 1967 Protocol, and it has not enforced comprehensive refugee laws. Now this point is really very important for your prelims, so you should note it down somewhere. In India, the Foreigners Act of 1946 governs how foreigners enter, stay in and leave the country. Now this act is colonial wartime legislation that provides the executive board authority to apprehend and deport foreign nationals without due process. There are certain acts in India which you should know. The provision of the Foreigners Act 1946, the Registration of Foreigners Act 1939, the Passport Entry to India Act 1920 and the Citizenship Act of 1955, which apply to all foreign nationals, refugees, asylum seekers and stateless people. Finally, a point to ponder. What have been the major reasons which have pushed more people out of their homes as refugees? Also, what is India's policy for refugees? Try to answer these questions. Dear aspirants, to read more about this issue, go to the link below. Also follow our UPSC Essentials to know more about this global trend report. Aspirants, you know that UPSC Essentials is an initiative by Indian Express through which you can make your journey to civil services examination quite easy. Make the best use of UPSC Key and UPSC Essentials in the preparation for UPSC Civil Services examination. To get more such videos, subscribe to the Indian Express. Think smart, work hard, conquer your goal.